There's I'm getting everybody's calling and posting no sound. So
No sound. Do what?
No
I don't know what's
sound.
going on.
I hear y'all loud and clear, but I ain't on the internet, am I?
No, you're not on the internet.
No sound. Can't hear you. No sound. No sound.
No sound.
Sound
no
is
sound.
off.
We still have no sound.
I'm hearing it now. I'm hearing you now, Marvin.
We got calls coming in from Ohio. Hello.
Yeah.
Y'all
Hello?
got no sound. I don't have no sound. Y'all have.
Wait a minute.
All right.
We got some folks now saying they got sound.
Okay. Now we got sound. So
We hear you now.
Hear us. They did not hear us at all from the very beginning.
Which one of y'all? Hey, which one of y'all did not want to listen to? You or Charlie?
I don't know, but anyway, I see TC Bear Hills on here. Boy, they all saying they got sound now. They can hear us live and in color. So let's take it back from the top again. We are broadcasting live tonight from Hooterville, Georgia, dead end of Uncle Charlie's Road, Georgia, Thompsontown, Georgia, and unknown parts of the great state of Alabama, coming to you live, and we welcome you all tonight. Thank you for inviting us into y'all's home. Charlie, now take it away.
Parts unknown, Southeast Alabama. I'll get a little more specific with it. In the woods, parts unknown, Southeast Alabama. Good to have everybody with us tonight. The lady that cuts my hair is watching, Sarah Jo Bradley. I think I go this next week. You need to call and let me know later on. Anyway, it's great to have all of you with us. It's Saturday night. We're going to have a good time tonight. I don't know who lives on Uncle Charlie's Dead End Road or Hooterville. I don't know the difference with those. Maybe Floyd can help me with that a little bit. Which one or location are you in?
I'm downtown Colquitt, Georgia. I used to be
Well,
on it. Huh? No, what?
No. He said that one of y'all, he didn't say none of y'all was in Colquitt. He said one of y'all was in Hooterville.
We got folks. It's my time now. We got folks out there on Uncle Charlie's Road that's watching. I know they watching. I know where they live. I got tracks out there. I got tracks in Hooterville. I got tracks in Thompsontown, man. I got tracks everywhere, all over Miller County. I got tracks everywhere, so I know where I'm at. So you don't be worried about Georgia now. You watch out for them Alabama folks over there. We'll take care of these Georgia folks over here.
We know how to vote over here, though. I mean, just saying.
We do too. But anyway, good to be with y'all tonight. We appreciate y'all tuning in to us. It's going to be a good show tonight. We got all kinds of things we're going to talk about. Try to keep y'all informed, up to date on what's going on in our lives and in things that matter. So y'all just bear with us and stay with us. And if you're a Democrat, you better be particular. You better be particular if you listen to us.
And we apologize. We apologize for that sound snafu at the beginning there.
Yeah. Queasel, it's your turn. Go ahead.
What I'm gonna do?
Where are you? Which one of those three places are you broadcasting from?
I am live from Thompsontown, Georgia. That's where I'm coming from. I am live from Thompsontown, Georgia. This originally was what Colquitt was all about. I mean, we had an airport, a shopping mall, all back in the long early days back in then. Airport, shopping mall, train station. We had all kind of stuff way back when. And but we just happy to be with everybody tonight. We're glad you joined in. We're gonna probably tell you some stuff tonight that you don't know. We might even tell you something that you don't want to know. I mean, you never know. There's one thing that I can promise you, that none of what we have said we have discussed before we get on here to say it. That you can count on. We have no idea, because it wouldn't be no fun if we did. So, hey, we just gonna shoot from the hip. We are proud to say that we are equal opportunity offenders. If we don't get you at the beginning, we'll get you at the end. If we don't this week, we'll get you next week. And and you can talk about us. You say anything you want to us about us. You can't hurt our feelings.
No,
we that's for sure. So but we are glad y'all joining us tonight, and I'm sure we'll have some very educational things that you would need to know about. And so, Marvin, I'm gonna let you kind of kick this thing off here, lead us into whatever we're gonna talk about first.
Well, I want to welcome those that are watching us tonight. We got the Oggs watching us from over on Smiley Street. We got Miss Carolyn Worsley watching us. We got Sharon Griswold, Betty Spivey Shepherd, Melissa Tillery, T.C. Berryhill is on the line, Bert Thomas, Marianne Whitehead, Jarrett Mock. He's supposed to be at a wedding, but I reckon the Dirt Road Sports and Charlie Platt was more important than the wedding. We got Wally Olson, Olson watching. Let's see, Melissa. TC says excited about tonight's show. I'm back, fellas, just up the road in Douglasville, back from Copper Mountain, Colorado, hanging in with Daddy Ray. Going to be 90 years young next month, and he's a 22-year-old Air Force veteran. And so we give a big salute to Daddy Ray, Sergeant W.R. Berryhill Sr. Bill Griswold watching, Roy and Becky Barber from Lake Seminole, Trey and Bill and Will and Trey, Brian from the Baker County Mafia watching, Julio and Rojo from Albany, Ann and Mike Boyd. And then TC said he had Floyd, he said he had to get another snort of Maker's Mark, and now he hears us a whole lot better.
That's all it took. That's all it took.
Aaron Stephen Tays from Panama City, Florida is watching. Joanne Simpson from North Miller County is watching. We got them all over the place tonight, guys. We have got a house full, and we welcome all of you to our show tonight and hope you've had a great week this week. Floyd, I'm going to lead this thing off with a conversation that you and I had earlier in this week about a news article that appeared on WALB. Is that all right if I take?
Yeah. WALB TV, Albany, Georgia. Yeah, Albany, Georgia. We got a lot. We got a lot of folks from Albany. I think we got some new folks from Albany watching us tonight. Rojo told me, one of our old dear friends that go way back with me and Nadine and Rojo and Miss Deborah Cook. Miss Deborah Cook come from that line of cooks out there on Smoky Alley Road. They was four of them out there. There was four girls out there. And all of them were very, 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 very attractive. They was kind of like them Smith girls that one of them I married over there from over there on the other side of Mayhaw over there, and kind of like them Phillips girls up there in Baker County, and Rojo and Miss Jan Calhoun and her sister. So good-looking women watching us from everywhere, man. We got them lined up watching us. But go ahead with your story from Albany there, Marvin.
Well, you and I had kind of had a conversation about it today, or the other day, and there was an article or a news clipping that was in WALB last week, and it was an ironic one. It was about a shoplifting event, but it was unique in this perspective. The story.
Excuse me. Whoa. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
There is a difference between shoplifting and plain out stealing in front of everybody. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, anyway, as the story goes, and this is a true story. If you don't believe me, Google it on WALB.com. Last week, Mike's Country Store, gentleman walked in and he purchased 2 cases of oxtails and wanted them cut up. Y'all with me so far?
What? I don't mean to be. I'm just in my mood to be. We need to be correct in everything we say. You said he purchased.
Well,
he went to.
Thank you.
He went to the meat counter and ordered what?
He asked for 2 cases of oxtails. That was the key there. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate you doing that. I feel like I'm here with my wife. Anyway, he asked for 2 cases of oxtail to be cut up. He got the 2 cases. He put them in his shopping cart, and he walked out of the store without paying for $218 worth of oxtails. And he got out of the store and got gone, and he shoplifted 2 cases of oxtails from Mike's Country Meats in Albany, Georgia.
Yeah, I read that article. I saw that article on TV, and I got to thinking about that after being you got to talking there, Marvin, about the oxtail deal there. And Mike, he will give a reward for his capture. What I would do
$200.
What I would do if I was Mike, I would say, look at him. Here's a picture of this man that got my oxtails and walked out the door. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I know he's hungry. He got to be hungry. So here's what I'm gonna do. If you'll come back and buy 2 bunches of collard greens, I'll let you have the oxtail. It'd be like a goodwill gesture. See?
Amen.
Just let him go with the oxtails, because the oxtails is rare. Oxtails is gone. I can tell you that. Now, there ain't an oxtail left. There ain't an oxtail nowhere out of that package left anywhere. But it just come on back. Just say, come on back, man. I'm gonna give you 2 bunches. You buy you 2 bunches of collard greens, and a debt will be forgiven. The debt will be paid.
I got a problem with this thing. It's the first I heard of it. Now you just wait a minute and think about this now. The man goes in and he orders 2 cases of oxtail. Okay? So he got them ordered, and they got to go chop them up. There is plenty of time to print an invoice and collect payment before you deliver them oxtails. So, you know, it's kind of like one time I went to college one time, and I was taking a test. I went to the University of Bainbridge down there. I graduated at 1 quarter. I went down there to make my mama happy. And you know it, they cheating on the test, and they ain't cheating, Charlie. They get like you. So we were down there, and I went into history. I had this history class, and I took history, and I learned one thing, that you didn't say Rio Grande River. Rio Grande means Grand River. See, I learned something. But anyhow, this fella couldn't give no regular test. He'd ask one question, and you'd had to go pay a quarter for a little old blue book to take the test in, and he expected you to fill up. There's 25, 30 pages in that book. He expected you to fill up that book from one question. The way I know that was the first time he asked the question, I answered it. When I got back, I had an F- on my grade, because I just wrote, he asked 1 sentence question. I gave him a 1 sentence answer. So the second time, what he did was, when he left the room, he would make everybody go put their books up at the front, and then he would leave the room. And I got to thinking, well, this ain't even cheating. So when he left the room, I walked over and got Donna Middleton's notebook, when they copied what she had wrote down word for word. I made 100 A+ on it. But that was no different. The same. What's
this got to do with oxtails? Come on, let's
It's got to do with this him. That man, when that professor, when he left the room, it wasn't even cheating. If he crazy enough to give me a test and gonna leave the room, I ain't cheating. So he left. If they crazy enough to give him 2 boxes of oxtail and let him walk from the meat counter through how many people and walk out the door without paying for it, look at him. You didn't ever come to tele service station and get away without paying. Somebody gonna follow you on out in the street holding out a hand, want some money. Now I had a heap of people didn't pay, but it wasn't cause we wasn't trying to get it. Now, don't that make sense?
None.
Zero. Well, I think
what you mean none?
Makes no sense about the oxtails.
So if you
zero
you just
has to do it has zero to do with the oxtail story. It's nothing to do with the oxtail story.
Yeah, it does.
It has nothing. Zero.
That wasn't cheating, and what that man done wasn't stealing. He walked by 2 cash registers and tried to pay for it. Ain't nobody wanted no money.
Go ahead, Marvin. Marvin.
All I'm saying is this. I'm saying this. If you own a produce company in Albany, there's a man that's got plenty of oxtail. The next thing he's going to be looking to lift is bunches of collards, because you cannot have oxtail without collards.
There ain't no collards left. I'm with Floyd. Them things was gone that night. Weren't they, Floyd?
No, the oxtails was gone. They gone. Then move on. But it's just run slam off the rails in with this and Marvin. Let's move on to something else now.
I still don't think that's stealing.
They need to throw, if this is gonna be the generosity, do for your fellow man, as Floyd said, he was hungry. Give him some collards, but if you're gonna give him collards to go to oxtail, you got it, and you're talking about 2 cases. I don't know how many.
$18.
Yeah, but at least 20 pounds of cornmeal needs to be thrown into the mix so they can make some cornbread to go with them oxtail and collards, don't you think?
All right, I'm gonna say this and we're gonna move on. The Dirt Road Sports and Charlie Platt will offer this man 2 bundles of fresh collards if he will cook the oxtail and collards and serve them up and us eat them on the show one night.
I'm gonna pass on that, Marvin. I'm gonna pass on his oxtail.
But see, you trying to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner.
You know, let me say something. This falls, and I think Floyd will understand when I say Queasel, I am afraid, has been introduced into some of the modern day thought process. Are you with me, Floyd?
Yeah, I hear you.
No.
All right, let me tell you. No. My turn. I was with a young man today who is in college. He is just about a straight A student or whatever the numbers are. And he got to telling me about a math class he's in. And you all know what's wrong with this country. Here's what the deal is now. In college, in math, he was telling me about one of his roommates. He messed up and got the wrong answer to the problem on the math test. All right. What do you think he should have made on the test if he got it all the answers wrong?
I made a 0 when I done that.
All right, but no, that ain't the case no more with these idiots, these liberal idiots. He made a 75 on the test because the 5 steps that he was supposed to use, I'm telling you the truth now, this was told to me today. He did the 5 steps correct to get the answer, but the answer was wrong. But he still made a 75. Now, this same young man said, had he got the answer correct and not done any of the 5 steps correctly to get the answer, and the answer is what we're looking for to be correct, he would have made a 0. Y'all go figure that one out.
We living in a whole new world, Charlie.
Well, let me ask you something then. Let me ask you another question. Back when I was in high school, I had to take geometry.
Who?
And geometry, whatever it was. Looking at a circle and telling how big it was, about all it amounted to. So, so there was all these steps you had to do. You had to go all these steps. So I had a teacher in high school, and I could get the answer right, but I wouldn't put all the steps in. And so she would mark it wrong, even though the answer was right. So I quizzed her one day. I said, look here now. I said, if me and you both go to Atlanta and I leave and drive straight north and you leave and go to Miami to get to Atlanta, as long as we wind up in Atlanta, ain't it the same thing? She said, no, it ain't the same thing. And I wound up flunking geometry and got sent to painting ceramics down there in the art class. But I made an A when I got to art, painting, ceramics. But what was wrong with that? The answer was right.
I had the same teacher and the same thing happened to me.
Did you get sent to paint ceramics?
No, I got sent to typing.
Yeah. That's why y'all want to know what had happened to me? Y'all want to know what happened to me and my buddies when we was in high school? We was in Joe Lowry's class. You know what? And we was in Joe Lowry's class, and we give him a little bit of lip, or we act like we wasn't paying attention. You know what he'd tell us?
Go to typing.
He said, see me after class. And he put about 3 licks across the backside of our butts, and out the door we went. We didn't go to ceramics. We went out the door.
Did you have Mr. Charlie Miller?
Didn't have Charlie Miller. No, didn't have Mr. Charlie.
So you didn't go through payday then?
I didn't go through payday. I went through payday with Joe Lowry, with Bo Lowry.
You know what Mr. Charlie paid? Mr. Charlie used to do payday. What Mr. Charlie would do is, Mr. Charlie, he always drove, I don't remember, probably about a 1952, I'm guessing, 55, somewhere along that Ford pickup. And when he turned off Main Street there, going in down there by the gym, he'd switch it off and he'd mash the clutch in. And he told me, I always ask, I said, Mr. Charlie, why come you do that? He said, I'll save enough gas in a year's time that it'll make a difference if I coach that little bit of a day. So when you went in Mr. Charlie's room, when you went on in there, you didn't say nothing. You just went on in there. You do whatever you want to do. He never said anything of what I meant to say. And then when the bell rang, that's when you're supposed to sit down and be quiet. So Mr. Charlie never would say nothing, but he always had a little roll book. He always had a little roll book. So every Friday was payday. And if you think you had 3 strikes against your name, you better get on up there to payday before he calls you. Because it's going to be bad enough when you got up there if you volunteered. Now, here was the deal. If you had 3 strikes, you got it, but you didn't get it as bad. If you didn't have 3 strikes, he didn't say, hold it, you can go back and sit down. You still got it. So you was taking a chance. I was up there every Friday. Every Friday.
Paying up.
Paying up.
All right, Larry and Cookie Funderburk from Bainbridge are watching. Marianne Melton is watching, and she says she's watching us and listening to Waters World. And TC said DVR Waters World and listen to Dirt Road Sports live. Jesse can wait for later.
Oh.
Unplugged Fox
Lord,
News. That's my motto.
Larry Funderburk, that's a name from the past.
Oh, man.
And he jawed the ground. He used to jaw the ground when he walks on. Still does.
Yeah, he walked off and carried a big stick.
He was a law man. He was a law dog. He law dog from way back.
He's a good man too.
Hey, you ever have any dealings with him? Talking about law dogs, Judson, I need you to put up that picture of that elderly gentleman for me, please. We lost a good one with this week, boys, and this is a kind of a special to the Dirt Road Sports, and Floyd's going to tell a bit. The picture you see there is Henry Sugar Bear Covington. He was a retired state trooper, lawman, and a fiddle making extraordinaire. He was in the very first house band when the Dirt Road Sports wasn't even the Dirt Road Sports. They had not even become the Dirt Road Sports yet. He was in a house band that we were in a show, and actually gave the group of theirs the name, the Grassy Flat Boys. And he went on this week, passed away. He was 82 years old, retired state trooper, and a fiddle player extraordinaire.
Good gracious.
He was a good man. I was reading a little something. It's ironic that I picked this old newspaper up, the old Miller County Liberal. I picked one up out of my pile the other day, and this is from May the 13th, 1976. 1976. Y'all ever hear of the they call this after country quasars, but it was Eugene Hornsby and the Quasars. Y'all remember that band? You know that band? I never did know what a quasar was. Anybody know what a quasar is? Let me know.
I still don't know what one is.
I don't know what it is, but they could pick
it's a television.
A quasar is a television set. It was a television set, wasn't it? Oh, B-Dog. Well, that's what they were. They're the Quasars. Anyway, it said the Country Quasars, popular country music group from Iron City, Georgia, will appear in a small concert, listen to this one, at the Miller County Nursing Home on Friday, February 14th at 7:30 p.m. The group, led by Eugene Hornsby, is composed of John D. Miller from Dawsonville, Henry Covington from Dawsonville, and Tom Calhoun. The men play for the enjoyment of playing, and no charge is made for admission. Everyone is invited to the Miller County Nursing Home for an evening of country and gospel music. That made the Miller County newspaper right there, Lord. That's what folks supposed to do. That's what they done. That's what they did. They play for free. They didn't need no money. They just had a good time, kind of like us, you know.
What year was that, Floyd?
What year was that, Floyd?
1976.
76.
Man, that was a good year.
Bicentennial year, wasn't it?
It was a good year. I made more peanuts than I could sell, man.
That was a good year. That's when I was able to drive legally.
Mm-hmm.
We want to wish the family of Henry Sugar Bear Covington our best wishes, and our prayers and thoughts are with them. But we just wanted to share that with you tonight because Henry was a part of that band, and we appreciate him. He was our kind of people. And we
while we on that note, Marvin, let's go a little bit further with that. When we were in Cotton Hall doing the May Hall show, we were the radio announcers at this time, and this band was the house band, and And I'm trying to think of who all it composed. I'll tell you one of the members that it composed of, not only Sugar Bear Covenant, but y'all know Mr. Luther Clearman. Was in that band. He was a harmonica player. He's 90, I don't know, he's 97, 98 years old, old World War II veteran. Charlie came over here and interviewed him one day in Colquitt. He was in that band. Stephen Moss was in that band. And what was that boy they used to play with?
Roger Alligood.
That was him, Alligood. Yeah. Roger Alligood. They was another two in there, but they were good. They were real good.
Mr. Luther Clearman, let's see, in 1981, he called me to come around out of his house. I come around to his house and sat down on that. He got a cement bench out there in his backyard, and he the man that talked me into being the fire chief.
Come on.
Mr. Luther Clearman. Sure is.
He was a smart man. He's a very wise man. Been a wise man a long time.
He was the man that taught me how to do it. I remember what he said. He said, anytime you tell him something, here's what he would say. He said, boys, I'm going to tell y'all, he says, a mighty thin board ain't got but one side.
I tell you something else about him. He had a brother over here that was well thought of, Mr. Bill Clearman.
Yep.
And Bill, anybody that been around Dothan back in the 70s and I guess back in the 60s and 80s, heck, into right around 2000, I think it's when he closed. One of the family members had to call me. He had several different restaurants, including the Square Cafeteria, which was at Porter Square Mall. Had the Circle Cafeteria that was out next to where what Gibson's used to be years ago. And Mr. Bill knew the food business and was a very, very nice fellow. A lot of folks over here in this area knew Mr. Bill.
And Charlie, that segues us into something else. I want to talk just a minute if we can, because I didn't realize it till it was coming up this quick. Judson, if you could put those pictures up from the Hartzog farm. Dr. Hartzog and them have got their annual Satsuma sale coming up this Saturday, and the barn will open at 6 a.m. The barn will open at 6 a.m. and you will be able to come and get your Satsumas. We're going to be able to put those pictures up, Judson, from the Satsuma farm.
You better come early. If you're going to get some Satsuma, some over there.
Tell them where's that, Mark. Tell them how to get there.
It's a good...
Hold on, let him put the sign up. It is at 1633 Otis Bowie Road in Webb, Alabama. Hartzog Farm Satsumas. Charlie knows right where it's at. May tell you more. We got some pictures of the Satsumas growing on the trees, and then in 2018, I believe that was the harvest year on that. All those buckets full of Satsumas. But it will be 6 o'clock. And Charlie, tell them how quick they go.
Pretty doggone quick. However, he has a good crop this year, and I think there will be plenty of fruit for everybody that wants some. It's kind of a annual event. Folks get out there and kind of socialize and have a good time and see folks. And I guess we'll do the social distancing this year, but plenty of great Satsumas. And one of the things they say, I'm gonna be, this is one of those cheap shots, but one of the things they say is good to have during this COVID outbreak that we have going on is make sure you stocked up on vitamin C.
Come on.
And can't nothing be better. I tell you what, I can eat a dozen at a setting. Can't you, Floyd?
Oh, man, anytime. Oh, we eat a dozen each one day over there on your TV show when he was in there.
Man.
We was eating Satsumas, man, just like it was candy.
There was Satsuma hulls that they found. They're still finding over there, probably.
With pumice, we spit that pumice out. Yeah. Man, we had
a lot.
But that's
the 21st, this Saturday.
I eat the pumice.
You eat the pumice and all? I spit the pumice out.
Okay.
I ain't got the digestive system you got, Marvin.
Marvin don't spit nothing out.
True. This Saturday morning at 6 a.m. it starts. And give the address again. It's what now? Did you say?
Some kind of Bowie Road. 1633 Otis Bowie Road in the metropolis of Webb, Alabama.
Actually, Otis Bowie Road, where he is a suburb of Webb.
Oh, a suburb. I'm sorry, Charlie. I apologize.
He is in the Mount Ararat suburb of Webb.
That's biblical.
Yeah.
I know that.
That sounds like somewhere Flat Creek ought to annex.
If you coming from
no, wait. After the vote is counted, we don't want nothing from Flat Creek annexed in the state of Alabama. Go ahead.
Well, if you leaving Georgia and going through Columbia, it's the second paved road to the right. You just turn down the right to the right. You go to the second. When you get to the second crossroad, you'll know where you at, because there'll be cars lined up on both sides of the road trying to get in there. They'll be on both lanes of traffic trying to get into his place. So there's a little old bitty building. It used to be a restaurant. I don't know if it's still a restaurant or not, but you turn right. It's the second. There's a paved road to the right after you cross the bridge in Columbia. Then you go on down about 3-4 miles, and there's another turns to the right. You turn to right and you hang on till you see all the cars sitting beside the road. It's probably about 10 miles, Charlie, out on down there?
Yeah, not quite, but it's maybe close.
Somewhere along in there.
Looks like they lined up for a tent revival.
It sure does now.
All right, Floyd. TC Berryhill said, "Forget the vitamin and drink more Maker's Mark. It kills everything."
Yeah, but it'll purify you now.
Well, I tell you what,
it'll purify you.
He must be homogenized by now. If he's still,
man. Hey, TC live through. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
I was just saying, talking about eating. Y'all said I could eat. I like to share what folks send in, and so we got. I had some pictures sent in from Harry Warren of some fresh mullet and pictures of mullet roe that he had, and then Floyd had one of Charles Pickle cooking sucker sides, and we wanted to share those with y'all. Harry Warren sent in he got some fresh mullet fish, and in the cooler right there that he caught this week, fresh Gulf mullet right there. And then over on another, he sent me this, and he said, "Eat your heart out," and it's a set of mullet roe. But the problem with that is that would just get me started, one set. That'd be like a little hors d'oeuvre for me. You can roll on to
Harry, he'll get out there on that wall and he'll whistle. He'll go to whistling, and then a mullet say just come right to him. He done about got him trained where he ain't got to throw the net. He just hold a bucket down there and they swim in it.
Go on to that last one there. Floyd, tell us about this fresh sucker side right here.
Yeah, my old buddy Charles Pickle, me and him, we commiserate about every night. We'll talk back and forth with one another. He cooks up stuff, and he'll send me a picture of it, and I'll cook up some stuff. Me and Nadine will cook up some stuff. We'll send him a picture of it. And he sent me a picture the other night, and I seen what it was. I knew exactly what it was. He was just cooking a little mess there for himself. What none for his wife. It was just all this. Had some sucker sides there. And for you people like in Douglasville or somewhere who don't know what sucker size is, and there's some folks in Alabama that don't know what sucker size is. There's some folks in Georgia that don't know what sucker size is. But sucker fish is a fish that swims in the Flint River, the Chattahoochee River, Spring Creek, in these creeks, and they ain't nothing but the best tasted fish that swims in water. Sucker fish here. But there's some folks, I wouldn't eat no sucker fish. No, trash fish. Well, just leave the sucker fish alone. If y'all catch any sucker fish, bring them to me and Charles Pickle. We'll clean them. Charles will gash them. We'll cook and eat them, have them for ourselves. But he put them, he sent me that picture of them sucker sides. And what you do, you fillet them out. You fillet them out like that. You scale them real good and you fillet them out. And they got bones in them now. You can't just cook that like that. You can't cook a sucker fish just like a catfish. They got bones in them. You got to go in there and you got to go what you call gash them. You got to cut tiny, tiny slots all the way across. You got to gash that meat all the way down to, but not through the skin. That's what.
That's right.
When you cook,
that's the secret.
If you cut it through the skin, throw it away. You got tater chips. You ain't got nothing. You cut it down. Cut it down. Cut it down. You cut it. You gash it. You gash it. If you don't gash it, you can't eat it. You'll choke yourself to death. So then you get you some meal. You get you some regular cornmeal. Get your little salt, put on a little pepper. If you want a little pepper, fine. If not, fine. Put your little salt on, get your little cornmeal. Dust that cornmeal, kind of fluff them. Dust that cornmeal down there in between them gashes down in there. Dust it down there in between them. Get your grease hot. I ain't talking about screaming hot now. I'm talking about cooking hot. Get you cooking hot. And you lay the fish that gas side down in that grease. Man, it just fried. It just disintegrates them bones. And you talk about the best fish, but he sent me that picture. He said, and I didn't say nothing. I didn't respond back to him. And then he called me. Y'all called me. You know what that was? You know what that picture was? I said, yeah, I know what it was. He said, my wife said you didn't know what it was. I said, man, what you talking about? That's red hot suckers. Anybody in the world knows what that is. He said, I told her you know what it was. So anyway, he went ahead and eat them all. I didn't know nothing about it until after they were done fried and on his plate and gone. But he's a good sucker fisher eater.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
True or false? Now this goes back to my days dealing with my buddy Jack Wingate, which I judged a swamp gravy cook-off in Bainbridge, Georgia one time. Was one of the judges at the swamp gravy cook-off. But somebody over there, I think the winner said, swamp gravy is not good unless the fish grease drippings you use come from red hot sucker. True or false?
Well, some folks you cook it with brim and perch and stuff like that, and you can do that. It's fine. It's good. That's kind of a false statement. It's true, but it's false. They're good with you. Get you some little old brim back like that right there. Talk to me, Queasel. Get some little brim back like that right there, and cook them. Put some meal in them. Cook them. Just cook them in that grease. Save you some dripping. You make some good swamp gravy. A lot of times, folks, they catch no suckers. I mean, I used to go fishing. I've been netting with my daddy down there a long time ago. I'm just a boy. They'd go netting not long after they backed up Lake Seminole. We'd go down there. Sometimes we didn't catch nothing, man. I went down there one time with him and another fella. They were netting. And the only thing we had was some sweet potatoes. They peeled and fried some sweet potatoes. That's what we eat for supper. Didn't even catch a shad, I'm talking about, Queasel. Not even a shad.
Well, you know, we used to bait up sucker hole on the creek.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do it on the river, but you could go up on Spring Creek. You could bait you up in sucker hole, and you could take a red wiggler, and you had to take that red wiggler, and you had to fish him up that hook, or that sucker could get him off, and just leave just a little bit tip
he
him
know
out there.
on it. He know on that.
Yeah,
thing.
he want to get out there and let him dance and get and make it where that sucker couldn't resist him. Or you also, I had an uncle that would take bread and fix it and make it just about like dough and put it on the hook, and he would catch it that way. But where that swamp gravy come in, see, when you were sucker fishing back in them days, sucker fishing was slow fishing. You might catch one, and it might be 30 minutes before you catch another. So what they do is they would when you used to go fishing like that swamp gravy, you'd have old onion sack or something other. You'd put you some taters and onions and carrots and okra and whatever you had in there, maters, and then you would, when you caught that first sucker or two, you'd go ahead and clean them and gas them things up and cook them, eat them while you were doing it. That's where a lot of the popular, saying that sucker was the best swamp gravy. Sucker does make good swamp gravy, but brims and catfish make good swamp gravy too.
They do.
It's the main thing that makes good swamp gravy is the person cooking it.
That's
if
right.
they know how to cook it, they can make it and make it good.
Oh,
now
Floyd can cook swamp gravy.
Floyd can cook swamp gravy. I'll have to say that. He cooked some of the best I ever ate.
Professor Williams has texted in and wants us to ask Harry the Mullet Warren about a 45-pound Appaloosa catfish. So that's going to be a story for next week. We're going to get to the bottom of that. A 45-pound Appaloosa catfish.
There's some questions you don't need to ask, Marvin.
Well, that may be.
Yeah, we don't need to ask everything. Just call somebody called in or text in or whatever.
That's one of them that you don't need to ask.
We need a screener.
Right. We got to pay some bills right now. Let's go hear a word from our sponsor at South Georgia Solutions.
South Georgia Solutions, your premier choice for protection in the Wiregrass area. South Georgia Solutions provides the latest technology in monitored alarm systems, video surveillance, and driveway detection. Contact them today for your flexible, customizable, and affordable security packages. Call Michael or Terry today at 229-416-1500. South Georgia Solutions. They aim to please. South Georgia Solutions, your premier choice for protection in the Wiregrass area. South Georgia Solutions provides the latest technology in monitored alarm systems, video surveillance, and driveway detection. Contact them today for your flexible, customizable, and affordable security packages. Call Michael or Terry today at 229-416-1500. South Georgia Solutions, they aim to please.
Sucker hole that I ever fished at. You know
All
who
right,
could bake
boys,
one?
we
Miss
are
Nellie
back.
Calhoun.
Yeah.
We are back live. Thank you to our sponsor there. And guys, we got a brand new segment. Queasel and Charlie don't even know about this, but we've had requests for it. And so we got a caller that is called in and gonna give us a fishing report this week. And it is none other than the Reverend Kent Barwick, and he has been fishing. And he has been fishing extraordinaire this week with Dr. Earl Middleton. But Brother Barwick, are you with us?
I'm with you, man. I can't wait. I'm here.
Well, talk to us and tell us what's going on in the fishing world.
Whoa. Wait a minute. What's going on with Tully?
Kid, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, went fishing with Earl a couple of days ago. Went down Depot Creek down to Lake Wimico and caught some shell cracker with none other than the pride of Hentown, Georgia, Dr. Earl Middleton. He's the best there is, buddy. The best.
What did y'all caught freshwater?
Yeah, we went freshwater on this trip. We caught some brim and catfish and shell cracker. Been before with him, and we've caught redfish. We've caught trout. We've caught sheep's head. He's just in that part of the world down there at Port St. Joe. He is the man to go to. Congo charters. And
I'm assuming that in your endeavors with him, y'all catch fish when you go.
Oh yeah. We are not interested in a guide, just tour looking at plants and stuff. We go for meat.
I understand.
Yeah. I mean, if I wanted a boat ride, I'd go to Wakulla Springs and go on a boat ride.
Go
ahead, Brother Kent. Go ahead, Brother Kent.
Both of y'all catch fish?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Chief.
I said, do both of y'all catch fish?
Oh, yeah. We were about 50-50. Earl was tight lining, and I had a couple of poles out, and he was yanking them up from the bottom like he owned that lake. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Hey, now, where are you planning? I know you go fishing about every week. Where are you planning on going this week?
I plan on heading out of Trails End. Tully knows about this place. I think he goes down there and looks at the lily pads a good bit, but I'll be heading down to Coleman Lake, fishing on the north and south end of Coleman Lake is what I'm planning on doing.
Well, what are you hearing in terms of how, what are people catching right now in the lakes?
I talked to a guy today. He and his wife went fishing. They caught 70 yesterday, 60 today. Talked to another guy. He and his fishing buddies been limiting out on specks. I mean, really, I don't know what would prevent a man from catching fish right now. I really don't.
And there's a gentleman, I think there's a gentleman that you and I both know that is going to be up at Lake Eufaula some this week. What do you think the chances of catching fish there are?
Yeah, he better take his wife and his daughter with him. I'm just going to throw that on out there.
So when am I going to get to talk?
Let me tell you.
30 seconds.
I don't think you need to talk. I don't think you need to talk.
You and Floyd done ganged up on me. I ain't saying nothing.
No.
I ain't saying nothing.
Go ahead, preacher.
Hey, I did I did hear about a fishing secret. If y'all want to hear it now.
Yeah.
Well, this man, he and his wife had been fishing several times and couldn't catch any fish. And then he took her one more time, and man, they loaded the boat with fish. And I said, what was the difference? He said his wife put on makeup and they caught all the fish they wanted.
Yeah, go ahead with that. You can have that one, preacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother, I got a question from over here in Alabama. Brother Kent, is it true that a fire chief is not the best fishing guide one could obtain?
Well, you know, you don't want to just come right out in this unsettled season and say something that harsh, but you know, I'm just going to leave that where it is. I feel as his pastor, I don't need to run him over. Y'all doing a pretty good job of that.
Well, we appreciate you, Pastor Barwick, and happy fishing to you this week.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you,
Y'all have a
brother.
good night. God bless you.
Love you. Hey, he's a honey now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
They
couldn't
did
catch a
catch some
cold.
good fish now.
Earl might have caught some. He couldn't catch a cold in Alaska.
I'm gonna tell you, Earl Middleton is one more fishing hammer knocker.
Yeah, Barwick, you ought to see him. He got a hat on about this. He can't fish for his hat. He can't. He don't know about catching no fish. He loves to talk a good game though.
I got a question for Floyd before we run out of time, and I hadn't planned to ask this, but it's just on my mind. How is cousin Bookie handling the COVID-19?
Oh, COVID ain't gonna affect Bookie. Bookie snuff is a deterrent to any kind of COVID. You got enough snuff in you, man. Whew. COVID ain't gonna get nowhere near you. Plus, if he went to the hospital, they wouldn't know if he was gagging on COVID or gagging on snuff. They wouldn't know how to treat him.
What about his alcohol content?
He had to have that alcohol content. He had to wash that snuff down his goozle down there to get his all cleaned out. He getting along good. Bookie getting fine. I don't fool with him very much no more. He drinks too much for me.
Hey,
Marvin,
Queasel,
did you get my picture?
I did. I was just fixing to put up that picture of me and Floyd and Queasel. And guys, this is a this was a once in a lifetime event right there. It's up there, Queasel. Go ahead and talk about it.
I can't see it because I don't know what I'm looking at, but I'm telling y'all, last Sunday the NASCAR championship come back home to the state of Georgia where it needs to be up there in Dawsonville, Georgia. And you can look on that picture that I can't see, and you can see who is standing there with none other than the 2020 NASCAR Cup champion, Chase Elliott. There we stand. We was at the Rattler 500 over somewhere around the Mississippi line. I don't know where we was, but it was somewhere around. I remember it was a long way, and I remember that rattlesnake that man walked out with going put around the fella that won the race his neck, and he didn't want nothing to do with it. But hey, that was a big day. You see that picture? So I ain't saying we had nothing to do with it, but I ain't saying we didn't. What you think, Floyd?
We didn't hurt nothing, man. We gave him some confidence. I think
he didn't win that day.
It don't matter. We saw him after the race. See, we didn't see him before the race. This is after the race.
Okay.
And
we gave him confidence.
If you'll notice, after we had that picture made with him, he started winning races.
That's right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
If you'll look at that expression on his face, he's like, "What in the heck am I doing amongst these?"
I don't see that. Do y'all?
I don't see that neither.
I don't see that.
No.
I mean, he tried to pay me $20 to get his picture made with us. I said, we can't take that from you. It's against our contract.
Right.
How many folks do you know? How many? Yeah, he was wanting to get his picture made with Marvin, and Marvin had 5 gallons of mustard in front of his shirt.
Floyd.
Yeah.
Over there in that county, in that area, and let's just get a little more specific. In the confines of the annexes and the downtown of Flat Creek. We talked with Reverend a while ago. He's a fine fella. Free Will Baptist Church, I believe, First Free Will Baptist. Is that right? minister over there.
Just
that
free
the
brings
one-
out-
We the one across from the funeral home.
Okay. There's other Baptist churches out in areas out there, and you see pastors and you talk to them from time to time. If you were to give an offering to a pastor over there, say in the Flat Creek area, and it's a cash offering, are there guarantees that that money will go into the offering fund?
Well, you gotta go to lead. You gotta go where your heart leads you. So you do follow your
But
heart.
I mean, I know from the heart, but
I mean, that's all I know. You just got to follow your heart, man. Say here, $3 here. It's going in off. So as far as I'm concerned, it's in the offering plate. Then it's headed straight. It's going straight to the Lord right there. That's where it is over here.
We prefer not. We prefer a little higher denomination than George. But we'll take it. We will take it. I'm kidding.
you do take all the.
Jingling.
Well, let me tell you this, Charlie. A man that'll steal $1, he'll steal. No, a man that'll steal $1,000 will steal $1. So denomination
right.
don't matter. See, some of these preachers got that in their mind. Denomination don't matter.
Okay.
You give with your heart.
Good thought.
Done deal.
All right. We're running out of time, and we have got to go to the short list. We have got to hear the short list and short.
Folks love the short list.
Well, I've been reading a few books this week. I got me a short list here.
Is this books or lists?
I got several of them right here. And I'll start out with Democrats I have met while water skiing. Democrats, here's another one. Democrats that can swim. Here's a real short list right here. I got to look at this. I couldn't find. Amish psychiatrist.
Equal opportunity.
Yeah, it was. This is, and that's really bothered me. And I did a lot of research on it. There's no list for this. List of NBA players that can spell enunciation. List of NBA players that can say enunciation. Here one. Pentecostal Guide to Accepting and Embracing Islam. Here's another short one right here. The Muslims Guide to Accepting and Embracing the LGBTQ crowd. They embrace them right after they throw them off of a 20-story building. Here's what I think we can all relate to. Number of times I have watched Fox News since the election. Number of times I watched CNN and MSNBC before or after the election. Hey, here's what this is, but that's the shortest one of all of them. Y'all listen real close to this one now. I might pronounce a word wrong in this one.
Oh no.
Biden voters that know the difference between Shiite and shoe polish, most especially Shinola. Hello. Pretty sure, boy.
We appreciate you being dedicated to the educational realm of our viewers.
Man, I'm studied. I'm a studied man, let me tell you. Anyway. Shiite and Shinola.
Yeah, I got to tell you the paper. I wrote a paper about it. I'll have to tell y'all that story one day about my college paper I wrote. Ain't got time right now, though.
All right, Charlie, it's time to take us home. This hour went by quick.
Well, we need to put him on about the middle with the short list. Because after that, I can't think of what I want to say. Hello, go to Kenny Woodham. You know him, Floyd?
Oh, know him well. He's one of my good buddies.
Yep. Got to see him and some other fine folks today. We just want everybody to know we appreciate y'all watching. We hope that you get some enjoyment out of us. I guess in the case of Floyd acting a fool and his reading habits.
I tell you, no fool there. That's true story. Everything true, nothing but the truth.
It don't take you long to read those books either. Now that you give us the titles, but we appreciate y'all watching. Continue to pray for our nation. Lord knows we need it. We need help in this country, and we also need help with folks suffering from COVID. I know there's been a couple more that I know of in this area deaths this week, and want everybody to remember those folks that are suffering in prayer. And we love y'all. And Floyd, here, give us another short list, if you will.
I'm out. I done read all them books. I'll give y'all some more next week, maybe. Anyway, good to be with y'all. We love y'all. God bless y'all for watching us. It's really a pleasure to do this. We kind of like Eugene Hornsby and that band. I think Charles Musser, he texted me and they said he used to play with them. Some of them folks over, I can't remember who it was. Other folks used to play with you, but Eugene them did it for fun. That's what they did it for. They didn't do it for the money. They didn't do it for the fame. God knows we don't want no fame. We don't want no, we don't want the money. That ain't what we do this for. We do this because we love doing it. We love one another. We're friends. We're as close friends as you can get anywhere in the world. And y'all are our friends, y'all people that watch us and invite us into y'all's home every week. Y'all are our friends. We think alike. And here's one thing. Here's a little suggestion I'm gonna have for people like us. What we need to do, we need to surround ourselves in this day and time, in this environment that we're living in, where we are right now. You can't be too cautious. You can't be too particular. What we need to do is surround ourselves with like-minded people.
Amen.
We need to be armed and we need to be vigilant. Good night, y'all.
Well, we are glad y'all let us into your house tonight. We hope we said something make you feel a little better. I think Floyd hit it. All we want to do is if we can just make you smile. We ain't got to make you laugh. We can just make you smile. Life's too short to go through the life unhappy. If anything you're worried about, I done read the book. I know who's gonna win in the end. I'm on the winning team, so I ain't got no reason but to be happy. And so we do appreciate y'all. We love every one of you. We hope that everything's going good. To kindly end out and to tap on just a little bit of what Floyd said. O'Queez was words for wisdom tonight. I got some words that is going to kindly come in with what Floyd just said. And so I want you to listen to them. And if you ever get in this situation, I want you to follow these words of wisdom. Always associate yourself with people of good quality, because it's better to be alone than in bad company. Take it away there, Marvin.
Well, we want to say thank you tonight. Justin, if you'll put that last picture up for me of the crop duster, I want to give a big shout out to a good friend of mine, Mr. Richard Coates. He got into his crop duster today for the last years of flying.
Wow.
Up in the Early and Clay County area. There's a picture of him right there, and he retired today. That was his last flight as a business owner, and he's been flying for 42 years in a crop duster. Wow. And I want to say happy retirement to Mr. Richard Coates. He is a good and decent man, and I just wanted to give that shout out to him. Give you a little bit of an update. Abby Newberry, the little girl that we prayed for last week, she got her heart, and she is up doing well. She is walking. Saw a video of her today laughing. Last Friday she got a brand new heart, and she is doing really, really good. And I want to encourage y'all to keep praying for little Abby Newberry, but she is doing wonderful. 3 things I want to tell you we need to do more of. We need to live, we need to laugh, and we need to love more. all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Life is too short, and we need to do more of all three of those. I want to encourage you, wherever you are tomorrow, either go to church, or if you can't go to church, turn on the TV or turn on the internet and listen to God's word somewhere tomorrow and give him the time that he deserves on the Sabbath. We want to say thank you to our sponsor of South Georgia Solutions, Michael and Terry Cunningham, great friends of ours. Promise you this, you will not be disappointed in the service you receive from them. They said if you would tell them that you heard about them on the Dirt Road Sports and Charlie Platt show, you would get your first month of monitoring on the house. They do security systems, they do cameras, they do driveway alarms. I promise you, in the day and age we live in, Michael and Terry will hook you up with whatever you need, and they will treat you right. Good, honest Christian people, and we appreciate the good folks at South Georgia Solutions. Leave you with this scripture. Psalm 23:6 says, surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We love all of you. We hope y'all have a great week. We hope to see you back the same place, same time next week for Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Live. And we want to just say good night. God bless you. We love you.
Good night, y'all.
See y'all.